Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Walking with J.Beau. A rather breezy late afternoon. Gonna do 5.5 miles today. On this Thursday, April 18th, 2025. We have a warm front coming through, so it's windy. Tomorrow we're actually going to be about 70 degrees to 73 some places in the state. So that should be nice. Got a couple items of interest to talk about on the walk today. But before we get into that, hope you get a chance to check out the recent uploads that I put on my profile from my beloved Gibson Les Paul guitar. You can actually see me playing a little bit on it in one of the videos. Absolute true joy in my life. A really good guitar is a wonderful thing. And then, as I talk about in my video, so are the cheap ones. A lot of the cheaper guitars are very, very playable these days. Back in the 80s, when you had a lot of cheaper made in Japan stuff, and then in the 90s with made in Korea, a lot of them really weren't that great on the less expensive end of the spectrum. Nowadays, because of better computer-controlled machinery, the guitars are being made excellently. Even the low budget ones. And as I talked about in my video, I have a 2020, actually I think the manufacturing date was 2021, of a Squier Stratocaster, which is issued by Fender Guitars. The guitar is made in Indonesia. The brand new price tag on it was $219 or $215. Guitar Center had a 50% off sale, and I bought it for a little over $100. And it is a fine playing guitar. Sounds good. Everything works on it, stays in tune. So you don't need a whole ton of money to play guitar, I guess is my point. My Gibson Les Paul video, that guitar cost about $6,000 in 2016. It's been wonderful. It's given me everything I had hoped. And if you can get one, I would recommend it. So anyway, I was hoping to be able to walk today with a long sleeve shirt with just a t-shirt on top of it, but it's too windy and it's a little cool, but it's not cold, if that makes sense. So we'll get our walk in the books. Back feels good, had plenty of sleep. We'll see how I feel at 3.5 to 4 miles. It's usually when I start feeling my back, when I do feel it. But I should be okay. Hopefully we won't run into any dirty syringes today. But one never knows. And that little run-down trailer that was here is now gone. See the oil tank over there? The heating oil. Heating fuel, I should call it. So, what do I want to talk about? Well, fuel cost. Prices are going down. Price of oil, $60 a barrel. Price of gasoline is going to start following suit. I don't know how much lower it's going to go. President Trump today was saying that a couple of states gas is $2 a gallon or just under, but that's not accurate. He didn't make an accurate statement. He was saying what they expect to see later on. That is the projected prices. So we'll let him have that one. But it does get people talking about it. Now, from what I've seen from market analysis that I preview once in a while, oh look, another place that's closed. This place was a weed dispensary 2 times. Both of them went out of business. So there must have been some kind of tax incentive for people to start up. So anyway, fuel prices are going to be going down at some point, because oil is $60 a barrel, and it's amazing how quickly oil prices go up when the price of oil goes up. But it comes down a lot slower, doesn't it? So I'm sure the Trump administration will be on that. I did read an article on Newsweek, who are no friends of Trump at all. In fact, they are guilty of running a lot of anti-Trump propaganda. Has stated that prices for gas are plummeting, quote unquote. So since March, it's dropped about 50 to 70 cents a gallon on average, and it's expected to go down more. I'll turn the camera around. Hi everybody. But conversely, we're expecting probably a pretty good tourist year this year in Maine. The weather forecast for the summer looks pretty good. Maine lives and dies by tourist dollars, and people need to drive here to get here. So what happens nationally is supply and demand for fuel, and the demand will probably be high. As prices start coming down, people are going to start driving more, so it's going to use up more fuel, which will drive the prices back up a little bit. So that's just what happens in the summer. But I think if you see prices continue to fall over the summer, that'll be indicative of prices really going down. So next year they should be really low. And I fully expect, with President Trump's energy policies, that by the time February 2026 gets here, we're going to see about $2 a gallon in Maine. That's what it was when Trump was president before. I fully expect that to go back again. So we'll see what happens. So today we'll do 5.5 miles. And enjoy it, because we have range day tomorrow, which should be nice. Very nice, actually. Tomorrow we're going to shoot 45 ACP, 223 Remington soft points, explode some water jugs. I have found quite a few on my walks to add to the kitty. We're going to go pick up some 2 liters of soda and shoot those. And also got the 357 Magnum reloads. Also got some 38 special reloads, some of which are nice wad cutters, which my Western revolvers absolutely love. So I'm going to have fun tomorrow with those. And wad cutters are those lead rounds that are partially sunk down into the case, and they're almost flush with the top of the casing. And those were made for competition shooting. So they don't have as much pop, but they're fun to shoot. Very accurate. And the other thing is, the wad cutters have a flat top on them for a reason. Because they're made for shooting through paper, which I'm not going to be shooting with these. so they make a nice clean hole without ripping the paper. So that's the purpose of those. When you're competing, just a little fraction of whatever can mean the difference between winning or losing. So they use those. So that'll be a lot of fun. Shooting tomorrow. I'm also going to shoot black powder if we don't get too much rain. We have a chance of showers. I like my app forecast that says rain from 3 to 5 a.m. overnight. And then by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, partly sunny. That would be perfect. The afternoon's going to be 70 to 73 degrees. That will be perfect as well. So looking forward to that. I'm going to flip the camera. Somebody raking up their stuff. I'm going to rake it. Right?
How are you?
Pretty good. So head on up the road. Starting to get warm. The wind has died down a little. It's not so bad at the moment. I hear a killer dog. So I hope everybody's having a beautiful week. You're ready for a nice weekend. Easter Sunday, Easter and Passover. So Easter Sunday this year is going to have nice weather in Maine. It's going to be cooler than it will be tomorrow, but it will still be sunny and in the 50s. But we're supposed to have very high winds. Very high winds. 25, 30 mile an hour with higher gusts than that. So my younger brother wanted to burn some brush. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen this weekend. Not without burning down your entire neighborhood. So I'm sure you remember, or if you've watched my past walks, that there's this psychokinetic thing. I don't know what it is, but so many people get the idea of burning brush at the same time that it's very windy. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but it happens a lot. And this was another example of it. I had actually thought, before my brother even said that it's not going to be safe to burn brush, because I've been wanting to burn brush, but it's not going to be safe. We will get nice weather to burn brush shortly. There's no rush. It's all in a pile. It's ready to go. Looks like no sunshine today. Like I said, we have that front going by. It is going to get pretty warm. Warm for Maine, 70 degrees. Some of you people in the country have had 80, 85. There's even people in the UK enjoying much warmer than normal. So here's some brush people decided to throw out instead of burn it themselves. The city picks that up once a year. I enjoy burning it. Some kind of nest up there in that tree. A lot of work went into building that. Twig at a time. No ATVs. See that? There's a nice trail here, begging for an ATV. It says no ATVs. Judging by the tracks I see on it, people are ignoring it. And it goes this way too. And that all has to do with the people that work on the electrical lines coming down from Canada, aka Canada da 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 da. It's nice hearing the birds again on my walk. I've just hit 1.5 miles, according to the app lady in my ear. Looks like people are ready for spring. It's been a long winter. I gotta say, this past winter is more like winters I remember when I was a kid. Very cold with a lot of snow. We had part of this winter with not much snow at all, but it was bitter cold. And then we had part of this winter where we had a lot of snow. And it was a little warmer, but still cold. So this was officially the coldest winter Maine has had since the 1940s. I actually had to look that up. Now there were other winters in between that were comparable. They didn't win that record in the 40s by much, let's put it that way. But nonetheless, when you add up the entire winter temperatures daily and the average, it was the coldest since the 40s. Past few years, we were lucky to see colder than -4, with a couple of times we've had -19. But this year we had quite a few -11s, -15, -10. And the smaller heating oil suppliers they got caught not having enough inventory because they did not expect that cold weather like we had. There's all those squirrels again. They all head for the hills when they see me. All right. You can see the field out there is starting to turn green here and there in spots. That's nice. Probably not very good visuals on here today because of the overcastness. But I filmed it anyways. Kinds of broken trees they cut down here. Get some brush that they're either gonna haul off or burn it themselves. It looks like they're gonna leave it for the city to pick up. That's what it looks like. Got some nice shots today, regardless. So tomorrow, when we go shooting, I'm going to bring some olden-timey Western irons. I'm going to bring my 1872 open top revolver. I'm going to bring My Cimarron by Uberti. Cimarron imported it. .38 special. Revolver, which is the man with no name revolver, like the one Clint Eastwood used in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That'll be a good one, for sure. All right, friends, we can see this spot right here. I've walked by this many, many times. I've never actually come to look at it, so look what I was missing. We can see some waterfowl swimming out there. A lot of ducks are here and geese. It's kind of a marshy lowland rather than a pond, but it's a nice habitat. And there's a lot of places like this in Maine. Absolutely gorgeous state. So thought I'd come get my beautiful shots today. You can see them ducks right out there past my finger. I don't know if you can see them swimming there. About 4 of them. A gaggle. It's a gaggle of ducks. So we're going to walk back this way. So I've just hit 2 miles. And I just added probably about 2 to 3 minutes to my per mile time for this mile. But I'm not walking for time today. So, there, I wanted to see that. And we saw that. So now we're going to walk back from whence I came. Kind of a storage building facility. And that's that pond we walk by all the time. It's the first time I go down and look at it. It's actually not a pond. Couple, 3, maybe 4 miles that way is No Name Pond. So this kind of like filters under the ground from the underground irrigation system and floods that little marsh we were just at. And I actually think I'm going to have a better footage because it wasn't sunny today looking at that. It looked really nice through the LCD screen on the camera. So it should look lovely. Anyways, that's another thing I was telling you guys about. You pick your routes to walk on, and you will always see something different. Either a house pops up for sale, some new construction, something being torn down, or in this case, we stopped and looked at a body of water I've not stopped and looked at yet. Now this is another example of dangerous pine trees, where if I lived in this house right here, I would seriously consider, it's probably on the neighbor's property, but this was the reason why we sent a letter to our neighbor, and we told them ahead of time. We just had to for legal reasons. Our insurance company recommended it because you can see those roots just clinging onto that big rock right here, this rock face. And that's all that's holding it on there. And you get these trees here where we've seen many just like that get knocked over during 2 windstorms, not this past winter, but the one before. And you can see how that would fall right on that garage. And you get a propane tank right here. So I would send a letter to whoever owns this property. If they own it, then it's their problem, and they very well might. But if it belongs to these people, you send a letter to these people legally stating, because if you notify them ahead of time, the insurance company will rule in your favor when their tree falls on your house. There'll be no question, and you'll get all the full money from it, because your insurance company is going to claim it from their insurance. So that turns the neighbors from fighting against each other for the money to 2 insurance companies. So legally, when you have that letter sent out, legally, requesting that they remove that tree, we actually put that into practice with a neighbor who did not want to remove that tree, but they ended up removing it. So, because part of that tree had previously fallen and squooshed something on our property, and our insurance company had to pay for it, but their insurance company fought with their insurance company, and we ended up doing just fine. Well, beside the fact that the tree squished something we didn't want squished. But the point is, I'm talking from experience. So what was left of the tree, they didn't bother removing it. It was on their property. We couldn't do anything about it. So we talked with the insurance, and they said to send a letter to them stating that they had to remove it. Now, my older brother works at a law firm, so he drafted up something on official letterhead and sent it to them with all the legal mumbo jumbo in it, nothing personal, and they removed it. So, very important, unfortunately, to do stuff like that. Back in the old days, maybe the 40s or 50s, you do a handshake. Yeah, I'll cut it down. No big deal. Whips out a chainsaw and does it. These days, you know, people don't do that stuff themselves. It costs a lot of money to have somebody come cut it down, and they don't want to spend the money. But that tree was a danger, just like the ones we just looked at. Those trees just clinging on that rock there, pine trees will grow on anything. They don't have deep roots, which is why they fall down a lot on houses, cars, kill people. So, anyway, that's another example of things I don't know what I'm going to talk about, and it just pops in my head. So there you have it. So when I first started walking this route, I didn't know where this road went. I didn't bother looking it up. So at this point up here at 2.5 miles, 3 miles, I would turn around and head back the way I came. And now I no longer do that. So seeing any syringes today. So that's good. I did see a little toothbrush here. I'm going to pick up that toothbrush because these little toothbrushes are really great for cleaning firearms. And this is a perfect size one. It's got ultra soft bristles too, which is what I want. I knew it would because it's a kid's. It's a crayon with a suction cup. So I don't know why, have no idea why the kid's toothbrush has a suction cup other than to be able to stick it on the sink and not lose it. Hopefully they weren't being forced to stick it on there and brush their teeth by moving their face up and down on it. I don't think so. But I'm going to pick this up, throw it in my gunsmithing, my little box I have. You can never have enough brushes for cleaning stuff. I get stiff brushes, not so stiff brushes, ultra soft, and ones with big heads, ones with small heads. And the reason why this one caught my interest was on black powder revolvers. On black powder revolvers, when you take the hammer and handspring out, there's a slot machined into the receiver that only a little toothbrush like this fits in when you're cleaning. A regular toothbrush for an adult, the head is too big. So this will actually be perfect for that. So this is going to be my black powder scrubby brush. So I would say that was rather fortuitous to find that today. Pretty happy about that. And it looks like a crayon with a suction cup on it. How cool is that? Bonus! Doesn't take much to make me happy. I have gone through a lot of toothbrushes. A lot of them cleaning firearms. The bristles end up spraying outwards, spreading outwards and getting worn, and you toss them. So, pretty good. Alrighty. Well, I don't want to see any more syringes today. That's what I don't want to see. So I'm walking the alternate route, going backwards. So we can check the other side of the street, and there's plenty of empty containers on the side of the road if I need something to put them in. I'm sure I'll find something. Woman didn't see me until the last minute. It's on a crest. That's the most dangerous thing to walk on when you're walking up a crest like this. Somebody comes over the top, drifting too far to the left of me. I'd have to run and get out of the way. All right, this looks good so far. Got some deer, squirrels, chipmunks out there. I can hear rustling. Nice walk today, I think. That jug down there, it's all mangled, so I'm not going to pick it up. So a lot of this trash on the side of the road, a lot of times the city will come through with somebody. I don't know if they're inmates or something like that. They come by, community service, you know what I mean? People ordered to do community service. We got a little bottle here, and I'm going to bring this in case I need to use it for any syringes. If I don't, then I'm going to chuck this on the side of the road, as it looks like somebody used it for chewing tobacco. A lot of chewing tobacco tins. Must be their favorite spot to stop and dump stuff out, it looks like. Maybe I'll trade it for this one. Yeah, we'll take this one. Well, looks like that one was used for the same thing. Let's try these too. Yep, same thing. Maybe they all belong to the same. Yep. These were all used for chewing tobacco, same product, several of them. So this is one little spot. It's one of those things you notice on your walks. Somebody is throwing these out all in the same stretch right here. Empty chewing tobacco tins and containers that they spit their chewing tobacco in. Isn't that lovely? So I decided I don't want to use that even for syringes. I'll find something else down here. Don't even know if we're going to find any syringes. Hope not. So we're going to have a fun day at the range tomorrow. So we've done 3 miles in 56 minutes. So I'm running about 6 or 7 minutes behind my norm because I've been stopping, looking at things, which is okay. It's okay to do that sometimes. Stop and smell the roses. See anything yet? Hope I don't. I don't want to see anything. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Oh, we got licorice. Somebody threw some licorice out. Not seeing anything. That's good. So I know they're driving down this road right here, turning here, and coming this way. So we found some there and there. So sometimes they go that way, but most of the time they go straight, I'm guessing, since most of them were here. And around the corner here, we found three of them on the other side of the street, which means they were headed that way. Probably in town to buy some more drugs, I'm guessing. So this looks good so far. Now I'm wearing these Skechers again. I'm wearing these because when I bought these were very difficult to break in. They were very hard, but the inner sole was designed to break into the shape of your foot, which it has. These have been really good to walk with. The front toe on my right foot, not long after I bought them, started to unstitch, but it has not gotten worse over the last 2 years. So it must have been a stress point that I had to let go. But these have been really good to walk in. They're staying together for the most part. The previous pair of Skechers I had came apart along where it glues to the sole or the base. But those were very comfortable. And these were made in Vietnam. And they have a lower price tag. They're only like 36 bucks. The other ones, the Reeboks I like to walk in, that's a $100 sneaker, 80 to 100. So These have offered me as much comfort for a lot less money. They just don't last as long, if that makes sense. And one pair of my Reeboks that I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles on finally started to let go. My newer pair I wore all last year, most of last year, is still fine. But for 36 bucks, you know, these are doing the job. Forget the exact model. But they are Skechers. I don't know if you can see what those are. Sport. Skechers Sport. That's what they're called. I would recommend them. They also fit my feet properly, which sometimes is a miracle because I have one foot that's a little bit longer than the other and probably needs a 13.5 for a shoe size. I wear 13. So they break in eventually, even if I got to stretch the toe out a little bit with a pool cue, the bottom end of a pool cue. But just kind of stretch it out. But for the most part, these Skechers fit me. I have about 8 pair of Skechers shoes. I like all of them. Some of them are a little more dressy. And they were also more expensive than these. So this was pretty good. It's pretty good to get these. No deer out here today. Been a while since I've seen deer out here. So winter's over. They must be going into the woods, eating and getting their fat back or something. I'm sure they had a tough winter. Maybe not as bad as it could have been, because there was a good part of this winter where we didn't have snow cover on the ground, so they could have ate old acorns. But if you look right there, there's a trash bag right there with a spine in it. I don't know what that spine belongs to. So, I just took a picture. It absolutely does not look like a human spine. At least I hope it isn't. There's another trash bag over there. Do I dare look? Looks like some kind of animal. It's definitely the spine of something. So we're gonna go up here. It's been there for a while and I haven't seen that before. So I got another trash bag down here. Looks like a trail where somebody is walking through. So I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to go look. But somebody might have killed a deer and just dumped the spine and all that stuff out here. Probably pretty common. It doesn't look like a human spine, so I'm not going to worry about it. There's no reports of anybody missing, so I took a picture and I took a video clip as evidence. Turn this around. Wouldn't that just be my luck, right? I'm on this walk, being happy I'm not finding any syringes, right? Dirty, used syringes. Wouldn't that be just my luck? I find a dead body instead, right? Again, don't really think that is a dead body. At least I hope it isn't. If I hear about a body being found on this road, I'm going to dig out this film footage and call the police. But I'm not going to call just for that and look like an idiot. That might be a mistake. I hope to God it isn't. But that definitely goes in the category of, if I really thought that was a body, I'd be calling the police right now. But I really don't think it is. So for one thing, somebody wouldn't just throw bones away without anything else. And the reason why I say that is I could tell looking at that there was some kind of reddish organic stuff still on the bones. So somebody would have had to have pulled the spine out of a person, like in the movie The Predator, or actually the movie Predator. It's not the. So no. I could also see where some ribs were cut, and that is very typical if you're going to have you know, like if it's a big pig and you're going to have pork ribs, you know, you saw through the ribs, so you have all the meat with the ribs. So that's probably what that was. It's probably a big pig. A lot of pigs around here, but somebody just throwing it down the hill in a trash bag, that's not cool. Not cool in the least. So the other thing I'm going to watch this year is I'm going to see if that sinkhole in the road here gets any worse, because I'm looking in there about 2.5, 3 feet under the road. Eventually that's going to give out. If you remember my walks from last year, I shot a film clip of that, sent it to the city, and apparently they don't care. So if they don't care, I don't care, right? So just like over here, right over here, we have that red cooler there. Now, I don't know what's in that cooler. I'm afraid to look. We got a bag with a spine up it this way. We got another trash bag that's still sealed about 30, 40 feet from that. And then now we got this red container here. I hope that doesn't have a head in there or something, but I'm not gonna go look. I'm just not gonna do it. I don't want to be like Brad Pitt in the movie 7. What's in the box? I don't want to know what's in the damn box, okay? I don't. So I'm getting a good sweat up today. I'm sure one of these days, whoever moves into that new house that was just built, we'll find out what's in the box. It's not going to be me. I don't want to know what's in the damn box. Hard pass. I'll take a hard pass on that one. Right here. That is a syringe plunger that's old. The end of it has broken off and it doesn't have the rest of it. It does have this orange part that goes on the cap on the plunger end that you push with your thumb. This usually caps the end of it. So if you see these little orange caps, you'll know what they are. And if you're a diabetic, you already know what these are. So I don't see the rest of the syringe. It's been there for a while. So we'll definitely not count that as a new syringe, since that has been here for a while. So we'll head on up the road. So no new syringes, that's good. Don't see any across the street either. Probably not something that's going to happen very often, but I'm sure I'm going to see them now that I'm looking for them every once in a while. Well, I got my stamina going really good right now when I get enough sleep. Let me flip this around. Oh shit. See that? There's a syringe right there. Let me get this bottle I saw over here. Son of a bitch. Always something, you know? I'm gonna pick up this bottle somebody threw out here. Right right here. It's like another tobacco chewer. So because I have this container, I don't have to go through the process of bending the needle and all that to render it safe. It'll be in a safe plastic container. And then I will throw it out. But you know, put it safely in there, put the cap back on. Well, that kind of ticks me off. Oh shit, here's another one. Son of a bitch. So we get another one right here. We'll dispose of it the same way. Put two of them in there. And this is across the street from where we found the other ones. So somebody is picking this spot right here and right there across the road as a spot to dump their syringes. So these were not here. These weren't here when I picked up those other ones. So those are new. That burns my damn biscuits. Well, anyway, we picked them up, so that's good. Now they're safe. They're not going to hurt anybody. There's a orange plastic syringe cap right there. Well, that's disappointing. But you kind of knew that's going to happen because somebody's not going to stop doing drugs like that. They're going to keep doing it, and they're going to keep doing the same thing they've been doing. So we got them. We got two of them. They've been doing it for a while because we saw a couple of old syringes with a broken plunger. So, stands to reason we're going to see some more syringes. And we got sewer grates here, you know. Problem is I don't want to drop them in the sewer either. But, you know, I don't think there'd be any issue from that. Because when they clean those sewers, they use those big giant suction machines and stuff. All right, we're back on our way. Have to pop the battery out and pop in a new one. Pretty depressing stuff, really. I don't like finding those syringes. Now, this is a good neighborhood. So when you're seeing them here, it's not a good thing. That's that Corvette. Isn't that gorgeous? Get two of them. Three. He's got 3 Corvettes. Vintage ones, all different years. How cool is that? Somebody loves their Corvettes. Oh yeah. It's not really cold. It's windy. A little breezy right now, but it's not cold. It's a little cool. Let's just put it that way. It's cool. Anything not cold is okay with me. Oh, big news I wanted to talk about. It's out here. City of Lewiston, Maine here. Where we're walking is almost in Sabattis, but technically we're in Lewiston. Has, by unanimous decision, the City Council, okay, Lewiston City Council, after close counsel with their lawyer's legal firm, okay, after speaking with their lawyers, the city of Lewiston, the second largest city in the state of Maine, decided to obey Trump's executive order on transgender women playing in women's sports. Glory frickin' hallelujah. So they are going to be adopting President Trump's policies so they can continue getting school funding, because Lewiston does not have the money to monkey around with that. And I'm sure they weren't very happy with Janet Mills bucking. They were waiting for them to come to their senses, but they doubled down on it. So we've had four local school districts change their policy to Trump's executive order so they can continue getting funding. And I think that's what Janet Mills is going to do. She's going to allow these townships to switch over to start following Trump's executive orders. And she's going to fight that in court just so she can say she beat Trump, which she won't. And these lawyers are telling Democrats, you're not going to win on this. Title IX was instituted specifically, okay, under the women's rights movement, is when really that started. It's an anti-discrimination against sex, okay? Religion, race. I wrote a paper on it in college. That was one of my assignments. Got an A on it. And so it was developed Not entirely, but because of the women's rights movement that was going on, that to discriminate against women in sports, workplaces, basically equality that the Democrats claim they don't have anymore, which is BS. It's still there. Title IX's never gone away. So I wish Title IX would have included political affiliations, since that's most of the discrimination we see these days. But so anyway, why is this important? This is important because Lewiston is the second largest city in the state. That's why it's important. Lunatic Portland, Maine is never going to do this. But Lewiston here is smart, and I expect Auburn to do the same thing, and I think all these other municipalities, the school districts, are going to do the same thing. So that was somebody speeding. So I wanted to share that news with you. That's really big news. It really is, because now that's going to open the floodgates of other school districts. So, well, if Lewiston did it, we should too. But that's not going to satisfy Trump, because Trump wants the awards that were given out to males that belong to women, or any scholarships, to be returned rightfully to the women that actually won those events, that came in second. So that's what I want. So we're going to see what happens. It is going to court. Janet Mills was just on the local media recently, all happy about it. We're going to court. Yeah, who's going to pay the legal fees for this? Taxpayers. Right? That's who's going to pay for it. So yeah, she's very excited to go to court. And that right there is another thing we see a lot of, right there. That is prescription or recreational marijuana container. People throw those out all over the place. Pretty tired of seeing that. People just chuck those out of their car going by. Really have no idea why. It's a small little tube. You know, all I can think of is they're spending money they don't have, and they don't want to tell the wifey they spent money on weed. And I've talked about weed a lot in the past. I don't support it. I don't like it. They say it's non-addictive, but I know it is. I've seen people go buy a bag of weed instead of paying their rent, or buying lunches for their kids. So don't tell me it's non-addictive. If it's a psychological addiction more than physical, whatever, it's still an addiction. I trust my eyeballs. I've also seen people in the past, well, I got to pay my rent. Can you loan me $40 so I can buy some weed? No, I'm not going to do that. So, not going to happen. So we'll finish up the last part of this walk. You know, we had some good things today and some bad ones. I found a little toothbrush to clean my black powder gun, where the head of the toothbrush, because it's a kid's toothbrush, will fit down in where the hammer and the handspring go in with the pawl, P-A-W-L. And so this will do a nice job. And it's got a little suction cup on it. How cool is that? That's like a bonus, right? So, and the bad side of it is we found 2 more syringes, unfortunately. So we'll throw those out. I gotta switch hands here. My right hand's getting numb. Numb like my cabeza. So anyways, that's about all to talk about, really. You know, and it would be really easy to pass legislation banning the throwing away of these marijuana tubes on the side of the road and disposing of them properly, because one, that's not a good influence for younger people that are minors. For the same reason the Democrats want to get rid of flavored tobaccos and vapes. Not sure what my opinion on those are yet. I'm very leery of siding on Democrats with anything these days. I don't like them, I don't trust them, I know who they are and what they do. But I don't like seeing all these marijuana containers on the side of the road, and they have the labels of the person that bought it on there, on top of that. Thanks. Oh, somebody actually obeyed the law at a crosswalk to let me cross. Ooh, look at this. Ooh, looky here. See this? This is a wipes dispensary. See that? I'm gonna fill that up with water. This will be something good to shoot. Well, that's cool. We're finding all kinds of gold today. So we're going to walk on down here. Actually, as I squint to see the screen, I increased the picture quality of what I'm recording, and I put some new miniature SD cards in a cart, and I'm going to buy some that are bigger and hold more, because I like recording sometimes 2.5, 3 hours on longer walks or walking through woods somewhere. And I increased the picture quality of the video, which also increased the amount of gigabytes it uses. So apparently 250 something gigabytes is not enough. So I'm going to get a 1 terabyte chip. And we'll start using that. Probably buy a couple of them. Once these things get corrupted, also, you can't use them. So sometimes they screw up. Oh yeah. Well, hope you enjoyed walking with me today. We just hit 5 miles. I got about another mile to go or more. So I will sign off before then, though. And I want to say thank you very much for walking with me. Really appreciate that. Click like and subscribe. Share the content. And God bless you and your family. Say a prayer for President Trump and the country. Pray that the good guys get good things done. The price of food goes down. It's starting to go down a little. I noticed when looking over what I've been doing lately is sometimes opening up a supermarket here website and just randomly searching for things to see if prices have come down. They've come down a lot for eggs. They've come down a little bit on chicken, I've noticed, and things like that. So anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. We get some kids over here doing like a little league practice. So anyway, everybody, we will see you later. Thank you for walking with me. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next walk. Bye bye.